Bakker, thanks for coming back. As you know, I'm the naturopath from New Zealand. Let's talk about GI index a little bit and weight loss, stuff like that. Does glycemic index matter for weight loss? So what's the GI index? Well, a long time ago, before the GI index came out, they used to look at the total carbohydrate content of a meal. But now what they've done more recently, and this was particularly for diabetics very favorable, was to look at different types of foods and their ability to affect the insulin response. Okay, so it's a little bit like, let's say, talk about gasoline, all right? Now, if you're using pure alcohol, it's got a very high flash point, so it'll, as you know, you put, or even gasoline, you throw gasoline on a fire, wham, like you get this explosion, right? So that's a very high GI index rating. So to me, that's like white rice, potatoes, like really white, starchy kind of foods. So they react very quickly when they hit the gut. Okay, these things break down quick and they quickly trigger an insulin response. Now, you don't want to have high insulin response because there are many associated bad things that can happen in the body when you have insulin that swings up and down all the time. It's devastating. You can create increased risk for cancers, diabetes, many different problems associated with blood vessels. Lots of issues. If you just go and have a look at it yourself online, what insulin can do, it's phenomenal, right? It can be very dangerous. So you want insulin to be very controlled and to have it, come up evenly, go down evenly, because it's also going to affect your mood and your energy in a more positive way. If you look at a fuel source like diesel, for example, it has a much lower flash point. So when you throw that on a fire, it doesn't go wham, okay? It goes more like wham, okay? It's very underwhelming. Okay, and also what's very underwhelming in the diet for the insulin response, we're looking at chickpeas, we're looking at sort of legumes, we're looking at vegetables, we're looking at sort of foods that break down slowly and very slowly stimulate the insulin response. Insulin's also tied up with satiety to a high degree too. But what I don't like about insulin is it pushes you into a much higher, your body's higher potential for many different chronic lifestyle diseases. So it's really in your best interest to keep insulin tame, okay? A bit like a tiger. Keep it tame. Don't let it attack you all the time and bite you, right? So, but what about weight loss? Well, I've just looked now at several studies. In fact, a big study was undertaken involving many obese people where they put them on strict GI type diets. And unfortunately, when people are quite big, it doesn't work that well at all, these kind of diets. So you're not going to lose a ton of weight just by eating a lower GI, kind of index food. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But it is going to improve your blood sugar quite a lot. Your sensitivity will improve significantly to different foods. So you won't be getting swings and roundabouts anymore in terms of moods and energy and things like that. So this stability is what you want long term. There's definitely a link with cancer and also a lot of these insulin spikes. So you've got to watch out. But the jury is still out. This is not really the low GI index, a diet, is not really the best approach for weight loss. And most people will tell you that. But it will improve stability and also help you to maintain health for a lot longer if you eat like that. All right? It makes a lot of sense to me. So, but don't fall for the line that if you're going to eat just vegetables, and very low GI index foods, that you're going to lose weight, because you're not looking at other factors like hormonal issues that you may have, stress issues that you may have, lifestyle issues. All sorts of problems can stop you from losing weight. But just by eating foods low on the GI, it not really gonna do that much for you. So if you look at the GI scale, just made a few notes here, the low GI foods, this is 55 or under. We're looking at oatmeal, peas, carrots, kidney beans, hummus, for example, many fruits, apart from watermelons are the really sweet fruits. The high GI index, so 70 or higher, I think white sugar is 100, it's like right up the top. That's like putting pure alcohol on a fire. It's just gone in a second. So the problem with that is, of course, you get heat and then you've got nothing again, all right? There's no slow burn there, which means that you're going to be having to throw alcohol on the fire constantly. And this is why people go from one sugary food to another, because they get this response and then they get hungry again. They get the response and they get hungry again. And meanwhile, they're attacking their body. When they create this problem with the blood sugar going up and down, yo-yoing, it's bad. So the medium GI index foods Corn, for example, okay? Grapes are considered medium GI, but I disagree. These are really high sugary foods, in my opinion, depending on the grape. But remember, lifestyle is a big one. Attitude, understanding, that you need to eat the right kind of foods and move your butt. And look at stress in your occupation. These are key factors that many people don't look at when it comes to weight loss, right? And also patience, because if you've been a big person for a while, it's going to take time for your body to get used to the transition of you not always grabbing, a peanut butter sandwich 4 or 5 times a day. It's going to take time because you're going to have to make all these other changes as well, all right? Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click on the link if you want my free CanXida report. Thank you.